Hello, this is Caelan Huntress, and today I'm going to share with you the biggest headlines from the internet. If you're in crypto at all, then you know what happened with Terra. Terra is the project that backs the UST, the stable coin that's supposed to be pegged to the US dollar. So UST is supposed to be worth $1 all the time. And there's a very complicated way to describe how it does this, but Terra lost its peg. And this is just today how bad it's been going. And so let's take a look at the week. It was $1 for quite a while, and then this was a roller coaster of a week. When Terra's value goes below $1, it's supposed to dip into the Terra Foundation guard. I think the TFG, the Luna Foundation guard. That's what it is, because Terra is also the name for Luna is the code of the token. And this has just been brutal to watch this go. It used to be cruising between 80 and $100, and now it's worth less than a penny. So there's complicated ways to describe how this happened, but the easiest way is just to make a third type of market. That sometimes there's a bullish market, sometimes there's a bearish market, and sometimes there's a Luna market where the half moon really makes it fall off a cliff. Because this happened, it wreaked havoc throughout the rest of the economy. There was already some things happening with the Dow Jones going down, and Bitcoin, because it's a major asset, also took a price hit. But one of the interesting things that happened is the new mayor of New York, Eric Adams. He famously said during his election that he would take his paychecks in Bitcoin. And his first paycheck was $5,900 worth of Bitcoin. And since then, at the time of this tweet, Bitcoin fell by 55%. And since he pays taxes on 45% of the original paycheck, he earned negative $600 if he converted that to USD. But he's not going to. That's kind of the point of Bitcoin, is some people are calculating Bitcoin could be worth in the millions in 10 years. But for short-term speculative investment, yeah, it's risky. But I don't think that's why he's taking his payment in Bitcoin, is because he wants the money right now. He wants the long term. And that's what the president of El Salvador has been thinking. He bought the dip. And when he saw it was going down to $30,000, he went and bought another 500 Bitcoin. As you may know, Bitcoin is legal tender in El Salvador. So to see him doubling down and buying more is a very good long-term sign. In other news, Instagram is getting into NFTs. And it's a really curious move. And I want to play a little bit of this video from this guy, Adam Mosseri, to hear what he has to say.
Instagram. Creators are incredibly important to Instagram. But one of the challenging things that we need to solve as an industry is how to help creators make a living doing what they love.
So this is interesting hype. For a company that makes $24 billion in a year, by monetizing the content that creators give for free, it's kind of disingenuous to say, now we're going to figure this out. And later in this video, he talks about the challenges of being a centralized platform, getting into a decentralized concept like NFTs. And he does articulate the challenges with that quite eloquently. And so I'll leave a link to all of these tweets and websites that I'm going to in the description of this video, so you can go and see this in a little more clearly. But the big weird thing that he's doing is allowing you to turn your Instagram posts into NFTs that can be bought and sold. And he says he's doing this in small bits, which I appreciate because they're exploring this area, but I don't know how much I trust a centralized platform like Facebook, the Meta now, to actually do this well in a way that is that's in alignment with the decentralized goals of the internet. We're seeing some other partnership from TikTok, where they are bringing branded TikToks close to the viral TikToks. And so it's a new rev share where people who make viral content can then get a cut of the advertising revenue. And so what's interesting is we're seeing some evolution among companies that have traditionally kept their their advertising revenue from themselves and haven't been sharing with creators. Creators are getting kind of fed up. And so there are some changes on the horizon, and that's what I see from these headlines. Another interesting headline, speaking of Facebook and Meta and all them, there's been a suit filed against them, against Meta Platforms Incorporated, by Dfinity for copyright infringement on their logo. They say that they have been using this for a while and that Meta doesn't have rights to it. Now, I don't know if Meta's going to have to change their logo, maybe change their name, who knows? But they'll probably end up settling with a suit like this. But I find it interesting that this symbol is something that you can sue over. How minified can we make a symbol and still claim it as ours? The Morning Brew had a great headline this week about how Wistia is using in-house DJs to share their favorite playlists. And so you'll have a remote team of however many people, and what they'll do is they'll assign one person to be the DJ for that day, and they'll put together a playlist and share it with the group so that everybody in the remote distributed team is listening to the same music. And it gives you a topic of conversation and a way to develop deeper camaraderie with a remote team. And I find that a really clever solution. Speaking of camaraderie with remote and distributed teams, I'm hosting a couple of events this week for Tech Week, which is a national conference here in New Zealand. I'm hosting metaverse meetups in a 2D and 3D metaverse. And we're going to be playing some games in Bramble, which is a platform that I use for interacting online. It's a level beyond the Zoom meeting. But we're also going to dip our toes into Decentraland and crypto voxels. And so for metaverse newbies, this should be a fun event. I'm also going to be hosting the Power of Play in virtual meetings, where I play a bunch of fun games on Zoom. This one is a free event. You just have to subscribe to my newsletter in order to get a ticket. But the metaverse meetups are $10, and it gets you access to all 5 days. We're meeting from 11:30 to 12:30, Monday to Friday during Tech Week, and we're talking about Web3 and the internet. So if you'd like to meet other Web3 enthusiasts, come and meet me at Metaverse Meetups. If you'd like to just play some fun games on Zoom and get a pick-me-up, this is Thursday at 10 a.m. New Zealand time, which for my North American friends is Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. For my Australian friends, it's also Thursday at 8 a.m. I traverse a lot of time zones. So those have been the headlines for this week in the internet. My name's Caelan Huntress. Have fun out there.